Today we're gonna talk to the chapter 2, that is elementary programming. The motivation of the elementary programming is, in the preceding chapter, you learn how to create, compile, and run a Java program. Starting from this chapter, you will learn how to solve practical problems programmatically. Through this problem, you will learn Java primitive data types and the related subject, such as variables, constants, data types, operators, expressions, and the input and output. For this chapter, we have a lot of objectives. The first one is to write Java programs to perform the simple computations. The second one is to obtain input from the console using the scanner class. And then is to use identifiers to name variables, constants, methods, and classes. The next one is to use the variables to store data. And also we need to learn to program with the assignment statement and the assignment expressions. To use these constants to store the permanent data. And also we need to name classes, methods, variables, and constants by following their naming conventions. And we also need to explore Java numeric primitive data types, such as byte, short, int, long, float, and double. To read a byte, short, int, long, float, or double value from the keyboard. And we also need to perform the operations using the operators like plus, minus, multiply, divide, and percent. To perform exponent operations, use math point power a and b. And to write integer literals, floating points literals, and literal in scientific notation. And we also to write and evaluate the numeric expressions. To obtain the current system time using system current time millers. And we also use to argument the assignment operators. And to distinguish between post-increment and pre-increment, and between the post-decrement and the pre-decrement. To cast the value of the one type to another type. To describe the software development process and apply it to develop the loan payment program. To write a program that converts a large amount of money into small units. The last objective is to avoid common errors and pitfalls in elementary programming. The first one we are talking about is writing a simple program. Writing a simple program involves the designing strategies for the solving the problem, and then using a programming languages to implement that the strategy. For the writing a simple program, we also need to consider the simple problem of the computing the area of the circle. How do we write a program for solving these problems? Right? And writing a program involves designing algorithm and translating algorithms into programming instructions or code. And the algorithm describes how a problem is solved by listing the actions that need to be taken and the order of their executing. algorithm can help the program plan a program before writing it in a programming language. Like for calculating the area of the circle, algorithm can be described in natural languages or in Pascal code. The algorithm for calculating the area of the circle can be described as follows. First, we need to read in the circle's radius, and then we need to compute the area using the following formula. That is area equal to radius multiplied by radius multiplied by pi. And then we need to display the result. When you code it, you need to translate an algorithm into the program. And you already know that every Java program begins with a class definition in which keywords class is followed by the class name compute area. And every Java program must have a main method where program execution begins. Like for the calculating the area of the circle, like the first one is public class compute area and the public static void main like string args. And the step 1 we already step 1, 2, 3 we already showed before. And in this program needs to read the radius entered by the user from the keyboard. This raises two important issues: reading the radius and storing the radius in the program. In order to store the radius, the program needs to declare a symbol called a variable. A variable represents a value stored in the computer memory. Calculating the area of circle. Rather than choosing x and y as the variable names, choosing the descriptive names in this case, radius for radius and area for area. To let the compiler know what radius and area are, specify their data types. And that is a kind of data stored in a variables, whether integer, real number, or something else. This is known as declining variables. Like Java provides simple data types for representing integers, floating points, numbers. For example, numbers with a decimal point, characters, and Boolean types. These types are known as primitive data types or fundamental data types. And for the calculating the area of the circle, this program can be expanded as follows. For the first line, we public the class. The class is a computer area, and we need to double the radius and double the areas. And for now, you can assign a fixed value to radius in the program as you write the code. Later, you all modify the program to promote the user for this value. And the second step is to compute area by assignment, the result of the expression radius. Radius multiplied by radius multiplied by 3.14159 to area. And in the final step, the program will display the value of area on the console by using the system.out.println method. This is example. So for the first line, we need to declare radius, and the type of this the type of this number is double, and the second one is area. The type of it is also double, and then we need to assign a radius. Radius equal to 20, and we use the formula that is area equal radius multiplied by radius multiplied by 3.159, and then we need to display the result. That is we can use the system point out, point println, and because we want to others to know what you declared, so what we calculate, so we can use the area for the circle of the radius, that is the string, plus the radius, and plus string is, and plus the area. Okay, this class we just modify for to calculate the area of the circle. So we already modify it, and to know how to calculate. So if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me.